So, last week I spoke a little bit about, I think I don't re-listen to what I say and I don't plant what I say, but I think I said something about what spirituality and meditation can bring, and it's not about becoming a better person. It's not about building a character. It's about removing suffering. And I think it's important and to realise that we're not here to be perfect people, and while it's noble to help other people, we're little help if the person who's doing the helping isn't walking the walk and talking the talk. That's why people instantly respected Zidane when he changed from being a great footballer to a great coach, and he immediately constructed a fantastic team that achieved instantly very well. And you can only do that with someone that the people knew and who were invested, who walked the walk and knew he lived it. So, and it's true for helping people. You can't help anyone until you can help yourself, and you've overcome those obstacles. The people who have overcome serious drug addiction often go back to helping others, and their skills are invaluable, and that experience of overcoming is invaluable. So what are we doing if we're not creating a better person? We're not seeking to change anything, but we observe, and when we observe, we notice our mind in day-to-day life, and we can notice habit patterns. When there's really strong emotions, especially strong negative emotions, we can say, "Oh, I'm doing this thing again. I'm causing myself suffering." And sometimes it's the best course is to work out why we behave a certain way. Why do we self-sabotage? Why do we get angry when we see certain things? But it's, and that can be necessary, but it's not mandatory. Often all we need to do is repeatedly observe ourselves and not do it. You don't need to be a biologist to know not to touch a hot frying pan. You just touch it once, and that should hopefully be enough. It's not for me, I keep burning myself, but we should know that the reason. We don't need to know the reason. We don't need to know the mechanism of burning and healing to know that we shouldn't touch something hot. And that's the same with the spiritual path. Often we just observe and we see ourselves causing ourselves pain, and we just say, "Oh, I'm causing myself pain again," and just that acknowledgement that we're doing that same thing, whatever that same thing is to us. We catch it earlier and earlier, and the forces become less, and we're not stupid, but sometimes we're distracted. So when we're aware of that we're causing our suffering, we can immediately stop or reduce it. And then when we're removing these negative patterns, we're not becoming someone better. We're just not causing ourselves suffering. Often when people talk about fearlessness, the absence of fear, you can imagine some muscle-bound man like a comic book with a big sword or something charging, but an alternative interpretation of fearlessness is Elmo. Elmo lives without fear. He's not muscular, he's not aggressive, but the fear doesn't enter his mind and his body, and that's a much better role model, I think, for fearlessness and the spiritual path. It's not about building us up into this warrior, this fearless person, this force that can't be moved, and often we hear place names with these grand names, Abhayagiri, fearless mountain, or Amaravati, the home of the deathless, and it's meant to encourage strong practice, aditan practice, and I prefer some of the other names that are given to homes. Often the nuns' homes have got names that I prefer, like Karunasam, Mettasam, like the house of Karuna, the house of Metta. I think that's nicer than Abhayagiri, fearless mountain. And for me, we're not becoming anything. We're removing the negatives, and we're uncovering what was already there. And in Tibetan culture, they talk about the Buddha nature, and that's what's left. So, and I mentioned this in this meditation. Maybe your awareness is coloured with metta, and for me, my practice changed when I could see awareness as like a ball, and metta was the colour of the ball, and upekkha was the smoothness of the ball, and you can't have you can't have a smooth ball without a ball, and you can't have a ball without a texture, whether that's rough or smooth. You can't have a ball without colour, whether it's the red for anger or a warm yellowy orange glow for metta. And then when I realised that these Brahma Viharas, these states of awareness, these sublime abidings, are just qualities of awareness, it really clicked, because I thought of them as discrete things. We need to encourage karuna, we need to encourage metta, but they're the qualities of awareness. They're already intrinsically part of our awareness. They're just, I think it might be Zen, but it's some Buddhist person said, like meditation's like polishing a mirror or a piece of glass until it reflects, and that's what we're doing. We're revealing that Buddha nature of metta and karuna that's already in us. So we're not becoming anything. We're not becoming this wonderful person. We're removing the obstacles for letting that inner light shine through, and it's not to say that just because we've uncovered it, life is going to be peachy. It's not, and we will have frustrations. And a few days ago, I woke up and I couldn't go back to sleep, and instead of trying to go back to sleep and failing, I spent maybe 5 or 6 hours that night just lying on my back, enjoying being alive, just enjoying being me without trying to sleep. I gave up. I thought it's better to rest my mind and body in awakeness than drift in and out of sleep in restlessness. And I still managed to wake up, and I was a bit sleepy and tired, but I'd only slept an hour or two, and I wasn't so bad, because I didn't add to the suffering that was already there, and I actually enjoyed myself, and I was really grateful that I had this skill, because my mind was racing. It was thinking of of the past and thinking of the future. My mind wanted me to have these wonderful conversations with people I hadn't seen in a long time, wondering what they're doing now, and it was all very pleasant, but I knew it wasn't the right thing to do. The right thing to do was to rest. I can always have these imaginary conversations in my head at work if they're really that important. So I was enjoying just lying down on my back with the breath and just enjoying being me without all of the stuff I used to carry. And I can't remember the stuff I used to carry because, well, maybe I can recall it a bit, but most of it's gone and I can't remember it, certainly not in any great detail, but I know I'm better off for this practice than when I started, and for me that's enough. So I just wanted to sort of say the same thing in a different way today. Hopefully that helps. Anumodana sadhu.